What is up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. We are taking a look at some USA made goodness today. This is the Highwater Knives Estuary. So this is a previous version. There's going to be some changes, or there are some changes to their newest versions. We'll talk about those when we get to them. But this is a very unique knife. It does have a tail put on it. This is on loan from Luke from the Crispy Donut community. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Luke especially for letting me take a look at these. I've got actually technically four knives if you count the trade that I did with him. So we've got four knives that are his that we're going to be taking a look at. We'll just go over some quick specs on this guy. That way you see the specs, you get the specs, and then we'll go into the deep dive on the knife. So you're looking at a 3.55 inch blade, 8 1/4 overall. It's a 4-ounce knife, so not too bad on the weight department for the blade. It is, as you can see right there, it is CPM 154. This is from their 7th release. Like I said, there are new changes to them now. All that information is marked on the blade. We'll talk about that too. The CPM 154 is done at 58 to 59. So I do believe that is a pretty good spot for that steel. 6061 aluminum. It does have a Type 3 hard anode, and these guys run around the $295 mark. Again, not terrible for some USA made stuff here. But yeah, so let's go ahead and crack right on into this guy, and we'll get in some close-ups. So this is a very used knife. So if anybody knows anything about Luke, he does not shy away from hard using his knives, which is awesome. So you can kind of see how this hard anode has held up over the years. So this is a bit of an older knife, and you can see this thing has seen some pretty hard use. But a really cool design here on this knife. You got a really nice like a wave pattern milled into the aluminum. It does provide some traction without being too too rough or anything like that. It is open pillar construction. You have 2 pillars on the back side there. Flipper only. Flipper has absolutely no jimping on it, which is kind of a theme with this knife. I do wish there was some jimping on that. I'm not sure if that's something they've changed in future iterations or not. I will check it on their website, and if it is, I will notate that here. But it does have no jimping. However, with the flipper, it does have like kind of an upsweep right there. It does grab a hold of the finger okay, but I've noticed that after a few flicks, this thing is it's eating into your finger pretty good. It is T8 hardware all the way around from what I can see. Actually, no, there are T6s as well. Let me double check that. So let's see. Is that T6s or am I blind? Okay, so yeah, there is T6 and T8, which is really odd. So the barrel screws only come in from one side. So your barrel screws come in from this side, but they are T6s. However, your pocket clip and everything else is T8. I'm guessing they did that for that spacing right there because it would have been in the way with the with the pocket clip. Now the pocket clip has changed, so ignore the pocket clip, and they now use a milled titanium pocket clip, which it kind of fits into that price point a lot better. So just ignore the pocket clip. That is an unsightly pocket clip there, but like I said, the new one is a milled tie pocket clip. Let's go ahead and break into the blade here. So it does have the milling lines in the blade. It looks really, really, really cool. I do know that can cause some performance, I don't want to say performance issues, because the knife is still going to cut. It's just not going to be as slicey as it would normally be with these lines milled into the blade here. And then here you can see billboarding for days. You got made in the USA, the blade steel, and the series number. So again, this is series 7. I don't know what series they're on now, but I know they're past 10. So and on this side, you do have the Highwater Blades logo. And that is it for this side. It's a kind of a modified Tonto blade, kind of like a drop point Tonto. Very interesting blade shape. Taking a look here at the grind. So you do have a decent sharpening tool. Plunge grind is done very well. You don't even see the plunge grind. And then the actual sharpening is done extremely well. Very, very even. Fantastically done, and the tip is pretty much on point for something that is hand ground. That's pretty awesome. So hand sharpened. So these things are pretty well built. This is a button lock. It is a standard plunge style button lock, so you can see that there. Sorry, I didn't show you guys that from the get-go. So you can see that there. It is a standard plunge style button lock. And it is, of course, perfectly centered. Now, like I said, this knife is or has seen some use, so you'll have to forgive any imperfections. But this is probably one of the best feeling button locks I've ever handled, as far as actually having solid blade retention. It feels like it's an actual, like a liner lock or something like that. There's no mushiness to it. It's got a clean break, so they've done a really great job with the lock geometry on this thing. You know, just a fantastic job here on this knife overall. Ergonomics, again, it's pretty daggum stellar. Now, I can't say for sure on the newest ones because of their pocket clip difference, but with this one, you don't feel that pocket clip at all. It just kind of melts away. There's no jimping or anything on the back of the blade, but you do have a nice little thumb ramp there that locks you in. You don't feel the flipper. It's out of the way. You can come up here and do a bit of a trigger pull if you need to be. Just be careful because you will ride up onto that blade. Yeah, I mean, it feels great in the hand. It is a reversible pocket clip, so you can move it to the left hand. Of course, being a button lock, it is fairly ambidextrous, and it doesn't get in the way on the left side there. I do know that it would be a little more comfortable in hand without the lanyard here. With the lanyard, it does kind of feel awkward for me, just because that lanyard kind of digs right into the palm of my hand. So I'm not going to hold that against it. That's something that Luke did, but outside of that, I think this is an absolutely awesome little knife, or big knife or whatever. Little bit of sticker shock at first, you know, $300, but then you got to kind of think about it. It is a USA made product. You know, these things are not cheap to make. So you know, outside of that, you know, you are using CPM 154, so it's the same steel that a lot of the Hogue autos use, same stuff that a lot of the USA made Kershaws use. So, and then you're just dealing with a small manufacturing company here, you know, family ran stuff. So really cool blade. I dig it, and I really appreciate Luke for giving me a chance to take a look at it for a couple of days. So we're going to get this sent back over to him. Make sure you check those guys out again. I will link their info down below as well as all this. So yeah, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all as always. Please remember to be kind, be humble, be EDC. Y'all take care.